Good evening and welcome to another fantastic episode of QTV.
Good evening and welcome to a jam-packed episode of QTV. It's a very...
Welcome back to QTV. Now, there was a fantastic interview we just had with Shaz from Brisbane Pride Festival. Don't forget. Now, we're joined tonight on the couch by Ruth and Davina from Dykes on Mics. Now, Dykes on Mics is part of one of the longest running queer radio programs in the country and quite possibly the world. Now, coming in at number 3 this week is former Prime Minister John Howard. Now, he was out on the campaign trail in Adelaide. A touching and controversial story in Queensland this week in the mainstream media has been a Queensland mum who is struggling to convince the school to accept her transgender daughter's gender transition. Her daughter was born a boy, and until this year at the age of 9, she had been going to her primary school as a boy. Tasmanian Parliament supported the advancement of legislation which would remove the ban on same-sex adoption. The bill in particular allows foster children already in the care of same-sex couples to be adopted by their foster parents when it is in their best interests. Nigeria has unanimously passed a bill banning same-sex marriage, outlawing anyone from forming organisations supporting gay rights, registering gay clubs, and criminalising public displays of affection between same-sex couples. Magda Szubanski has been selected as the keynote speaker for this year's Aurora annual ball. The former poster boy of the Christian ex-gay movement and the co-author of Love One Out, How God's Love Helped Two People Leave Homosexuality and Find Each Other. Speaking of people doing great stuff, Greens MP from Melbourne, Adam Bant, has announced that he will be reintroducing a marriage equality bill into Parliament.
Great news from the US. Last week, in a 5-4 decision, the US court struck down the Defence of Marriage Act, otherwise known as DOMA, which denied an estimated 1,100...
Earlier this week, a billboard with a pregnant woman bearing her stomach in a hospital bed with the slogan, "Congratulations, you're having a lesbian," was put up in Brisbane at Bowen Hills. Wedding planners in New Zealand are getting ready for a busy spring season when the new legislation of marriage equality goes into effect in mid-August.
There's been an interesting song that we've all been listening to earlier today. Now it's by Jade Leonard, a Melbourne singer-songwriter who has written a theme song titled Equal Love for the marriage equality movement. If you're wondering why spontaneous DIY rainbows have been chalked on streets all across Australia, here's what happened. Cyndi Lauper. Now, she won a very special honour, which was a Tony for the best score for her debut musical, Kinky Boots.
Yes, the film was Keep the Lights On, which was a very interesting film. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit more, I think, about addiction. Well, I think was the real primary focus, addiction on both drugs and sex. I found some fabulous and pretty ladies that are entertaining me for the night. I have Taylor.
We are here with the interview of the night at the GLBN end of financial year cocktail party. Stairs here at the Queen's Ball 2013 at the fabulous Cloudland. Now, I found the amazing Mr. Jackson Shilley, another previous guest of QTV. He's here, he's getting ready to go and enjoy himself. Another very well-known member of the GLBTIQ community in Brisbane here, Mr. Paul Martin, one of the two Paul Martins.